Hello, the Internet. My name is Jack O'Brien. I'm the founder and former editor-in-chief of Crack.com and the host of the new comedic news podcast, The Daily Zeitgeist.
And I'm Miles Gray, Jack's co-host. The Daily Zeitgeist is a daily comedic news podcast for people who like Crack.com. Are you okay? Do you want some water?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Okay, well, also, if you like podcasts from How Stuff Works, and getting news from some of the funniest and smartest comedic and journalistic minds around, go to Apple Podcasts to listen and subscribe.
I think we got that.
It is Wake and Take here on 790 The Ticket, 786-456-4837. Tons of notes, plenty of opinions. I could give them to you, but I won't. It is your job to get them out of me. You got to ask the right questions. We will get to your calls in just a minute here. It's a big weekend coming up. College football, NFL, Tiger Woods is back. My house is very close to the sixth hole, so I take the cart with the jet decals on them, and I take it over to the sixth hole. I play 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, and 1 brings me basically right back to my house. Do it all the time. So yesterday, that's what I did. Got to the seventh hole. It's like a 160-yard par 3. I tapped in for birdie. I got up to the ball, and I said to myself, you know what? I'm happy I didn't get a hole in one. Because Guillermo, why are you looking at me like that? I'll get to you in a second. I'm thinking to myself, because I think there's a rule in golf where if you get a hole in one, it's not considered a hole in one unless you have witnesses to see the hole in one, and no one saw it. So had it gone in, I would have told everyone, hey, got my first hole in one, and everyone would have responded to me, you're lying. Now, I've earned that, but I was actually glad. If I'm going to get a hole in one, I'd like to get it in front of witnesses, in front of people. Bill, let's put that on the poll, please. Is it a hole in one if there is no one there but yourself to witness the hole in one?
That would be the worst.
There's no one with you to witness the hole-in-one other than yourself. Let's interview Chris.
No, no, it's all ruined now. It's all ruined. The rules are nobody speaks other than Stugotz until he hits us with a butt first.
I was screening calls. He's talking about golf. No one else in here cares about golf.
Right.
I thought he was looking for someone to talk to.
I was not. Mike was holding up a sign. I saw it. Guillermo saw it. Everyone saw it. You know the rules to the show. And
That's my bad.
Yeah, Mike's very upset.
Those are really good rules. I'm glad someone's here to make and enforce the rules.
Yeah.
He's being unusually.
Mike never does that. Yeah.
He's being unusually nice because today there's a Happy Fest competition between Allison and Billy.
Yeah.
To see who's the nicest person.
Right.
And you'll have an unusually kind Billy on the air. He's trying to earn points. Right now it's a dead heat, 6-6.
He just took a shot at you. That wasn't very kind.
No, I complimented the rules. There needs to be structure here, Stugotz, and someone has to do it, and I'm glad that Mike's here to do it.
Okay, so we're having a happy off with Guillermo and Allison.
It's Happy Fest.
Happy Fest. My money's on Guillermo.
Okay. Are we going to...
Thank you for your support, Stugotz. That means the world to me.
You got it. Well, I haven't heard from Allison other than a quick hello this morning, so, maybe she could...
Hi, Stugotz.
Hey, Allison, how are you?
So good to hear you today.
Yeah, are you still mad that I fired you 10 years ago?
No.
All right.
Oh my God, it was such a gift.
Well,
Thank
my
you
money's
for
on
that.
Allison. It was a gift.
Thank you. You look fantastic today.
Thank you. Thank you. I like this.
Is that a
This
new
great.
shirt, Stugotz?
Point Billy. 5 points, Allison. 5. She gets 5. No, she gets 5. She has finally forgiven me for firing her a decade ago, even though she does not forgive me. The biggest mistake of my professional career, by far, was doing that to Allison. She doesn't believe it, but I am telling you, it's the biggest mistake of my professional career.
I don't know if I had a chance to thank you, Stugotz, for finally paying me for all the work I did on Sports Bang about 2 years later, but I got it. I appreciate it. Thank you.
2 points, Billy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. 2 points, but Allison gets 5. So right now, if you're keeping score at home, it is 10-9 Allison. Am I reading that scoreboard correctly? 10-9 Allison.
So what happens now? We ruin Wake and Take because some people couldn't follow the rules.
Yeah. Well, I'm still going to interview Chris for
Let's
a second.
talk more about your almost hole-in-one.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, so no Wake and Take.
No. Put that music back on, man.
Come
on, I'm sorry,
You got to
please.
do it the right way. You got to reset.
You want to start over? All right,
Yeah,
start
wait, hang on. I'll hit the entire
over.
open.
Start over.
I'm sorry.
Start over. It's okay. Start
Entire
over.
open.
Start over.
Because we got to do this. It's a quick one.
It is time to wake and take with Stugotz.
It is Wake and Take here on 790 The Ticket. Plenty of thoughts, tons of opinions. It is your job to get them out of me. I can give them to you. That's not how we do it here on Wake and Take. It is your job to get them out of me. 786-456-4837. Got to ask the right questions. Big college football weekend, big NFL weekend. Tiger Woods is back. And speaking of Tiger Woods, well, really, speaking of golf, I've never had a hole-in-one. I've been playing golf my entire life. My dad introduced me to the game at a very young age, and I love it. And I've played many around and never have had a hole-in-one. So yesterday, on my golf course, I live really close to the 6th hole on my course. And so I take the cart out of my garage with the Jet decals on it. And this is what I usually do. I go over to 6. I play 6, 7, 8, 9, 1. 1 usually brings me, well, not usually. It always brings me right back home. Right back by my house. And so I do that little swing when I only have like an hour of sunlight left. And I did it yesterday. So I get to the 7th hole. And it's like 160, 165, par 3. Take the 6 iron out. The second I hit it, I'm saying to myself, it's going in the hole. It's going in the hole. I'm happy I didn't get a hole-in-one because there was no one there to witness the hole-in-one other than myself. I would have called everyone and said, hey, I got a hole-in-one, and no one would have believed me. They would have said, hey, you're lying. And I've earned that. If there is no one there but yourself to witness the hole-in-one.
That's the worst.
Oh, what are you doing?
What?
No, guys, no. Chris is trying. He's trying to fit in. Chris, good job.
What happened?
Good question.
We just had this conversation.
You're having an unusually kind Billy right now because he's having a happy off with Allison because they're so miserable. So we made sure that they're happy today and they're having a competition. And that's why you're having such a kind Billy on the mic.
Well, wait a second. We're having a happy off today?
Oh, Happy Fest 2017, Stu.
Really?
It's great.
All right, so we're trying to determine, like, who's happier, Guillermo or Allison?
Yeah.
My money's on Guillermo.
Thanks, Stu. I love it. Thank you
I
for
haven't
your
spoken
support.
to Allison yet. I have not said a single word to Allison yet, so I don't know. She said hello to me on the way in. She wasn't smiling, but she did say hello. I mean, maybe Allison could skew this a little bit. What's up, Allison?
Hi, Stugotz.
Hey, how are you?
So good to see you
Good
today.
to see you, yeah. Have you forgiven me for firing you 10 years ago?
I have.
Oh,
It
you
was
have?
such a gift. It presented so many good opportunities for me.
Yeah. All right,
at that
5
time.
points for Allison. 5 points for Allison.
5-pointer.
Yeah,
You look
5 pointer.
fantastic today.
Oh,
Did I
thank you.
mention? Yeah.
Thank you.
You sound really good, too.
Thanks.
Stu, is that a new shirt you're wearing?
It's not, but 2 points for
looks
Billy.
great.
Yeah, 2 points for Guillermo.
I'm so mad at Chris. He totally ruined Wake and Take. You can't. No one can speak until Stugotz hits a butt first. Those are the rules, very clearly. What was going on there?
Oh, thank you, Mike. Someone needs to enforce the rules. I'm so glad that Mike's here to enforce the rules, Stugotz.
If you're keeping score at home, it is now 12 for Allison and 11 for Guillermo. Am I reading that correctly?
Oh, you did such a good job of reading that, Stu. By the way, I don't
Give
know
yourself a point.
I don't know if I got a chance to thank you for finally paying me for sports betting. It took a couple years, but I mean, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
2 points for you.
Oh, thank you.
So we're just not doing Wake and Take anymore. We're just doing a normal segment.
No, just do it. Come on.
No,
Play the music.
You ruined the rules.
No, put up the music. Come on.
All right, I'm going to play the quick one.
I could just share them with you, but that's not how we roll here on Wake and Take. You got to get them out of me. And the way you can do that is by calling in at 786-456-4837. Big weekend. Big college football weekend. Big weekend in the NFL. Tiger Woods is back. And speaking of golf, Tiger Woods. Well, golf. I mean, just speaking of golf. Yesterday, I've never had a hole-in-one. I've been playing golf basically my entire life. My dad introduced me to the game at a very young age. And I have played countless rounds of golf. You know, my house is like right by the 6th hole. And so I take the golf cart out of the garage with the jet decals. Because this is what I do. I go over to 6, I play 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 1, and 1 brings me right back by my house. And I do that, you know, if I have like an hour of sunlight left. It's just easy, it's fun, it's convenient, it's peaceful. There's no one on the course really at that time. And so I get to the 7th hole. And it's like 165, par 3. I take out the 6-iron. Because in golf, there's a rule that if there's no one there to witness the hole-in-one other than yourself, it's not a hole-in-one. Guillermo, put that on the poll. If you hit a hole-in-one in golf, but there is no one there to witness it other than yourself, is it still a hole-in-one? First, let's interview.
That's the worst. I hate when that happens. Good try, Chris. Good try. Good try.
I just saved hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico. I'm so happy, I feel like I can fly.
Disclaimer, you will not be able to fly by switching to Geico. This is against the laws of physics and nature. If you find yourself flying, please seek professional and or medical help immediately. In the unlikely event you find yourself flying, you might be a superhero, or a pigeon, or a superhero named Pidgewoman, who was bitten by a radioactive pigeon. If you are indeed Pidgewoman, Geico retains all licensing publishing rights in the event Pidgewoman the movie becomes a top-grossing Hollywood blockbuster.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Wake and Take here on 790 The Ticket, 786-456-4837. A lot to get to, a lot of calls to get to, and we'll get to them in just a second. We're going to have Dante Jones on the show today. We're going to find out if Coach K did indeed run through a locker room with a burning spear. And we'll also talk to Reese Davis. Best hair anywhere at ESPN, by far, in my opinion, and maybe anywhere in sports. His hair is beautiful. So he'll join us at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. And I'll get to your calls in just a second. I got a lot to talk about. And whether or not I talk about it depends on you. But first, we interview Guillermo.
Good morning, Stu.
Good morning, Guillermo.
How are you today?
I'm doing good. Guillermo and Allison are having a Happy Fest. It's Happy Fest 2017. For those keeping score at home, it is 13-13 right now. Tight game. Guillermo.
Yeah?
How's going on with Stanton, man?
Oh, you know, Derek Jeter's just doing his best. He's trying to figure things out on the job. Give him a chance. Give Derek Jeter a chance.
Wait, does he have to be happy on the radio? Does he have to be nice on the radio? Just needs to be nice to us.
No, and I think you owe it to the listeners.
Yes.
You have to give the listeners your true feeling, because hiding it wouldn't be nice.
Guillermo, I want Happy Fest to be...
On pause?
Well, just on pause for a second. I want your true feelings. So for those of you who don't know, representatives from the San Francisco Giants according to many reports, met with Giancarlo Stanton's representatives yesterday.
And it's not tampering because it was done with the permission of the Miami Marlins.
Correct.
And I truly feel that Billy should give his true feelings here about this situation, because then he would be depriving the audience of his passion, and that would be very mean, Bill.
Correct. Bill, I'm not going to deduct points. It's Happy Fest 2017. I need you to be yourself here, because people want to hear your thoughts, because I think people are frustrated, and you now represent, whether you like it or not, you are in charge of the frustrated Marlin fan base. You should be proud of that, by the way, and I'm proud of you. So what the hell's going on with Stanton?
You know what? It's a great question. If I'm to believe these reports, the Giants have spoken to Stanton more than Derek Jeter has spoken to Stanton, which is absurd. I really don't understand what he's doing. I don't understand how he has time to panhandle and have all these breakfasts to try to raise money, but he doesn't have time to call Stanton. It's so ridiculous. Did you see the email that they sent out, like the PowerPoint?
No.
Oh, my God. So they're still trying to get money because they don't have any money.
Right.
And they're trying to get investors. And it's just so ridiculous, the whole thing. And they're there and they're saying, oh, we want to have a clear message with our fan base. He hasn't said a single word. Every time anyone's talked to him, he just evades every question. He can't be clear. He can't be clear with his fan base because he can't answer a question. It's so ridiculous.
Well, he's never answered a question.
You know the thing about it? Like, okay, they want to get rid of Stanton, right? So they're not talking to Stanton, which is terrible form, by the way. And they think that they're going to rebuild this and they're going to do all these things, and they keep firing people left and right. Once they do this rebuild, if you trust that they're going to do the rebuild and you trust that they're going to get it right, which they're not going to get it right because Michael Hill has never gotten one of these trades right. But if they do get it right, how are they ever going to sign a free agent with the way they're treating their franchise player? And then he comes in and he's like, the Yankee way this, the Yankee way that. The Yankee way is to outspend people. The Yankee way is to celebrate all these mediocre players and make them legends, which they're not. And they're classy. He's not doing any of these things. He's gotten rid of our limited history that we have down here.
I agree. Put this on the poll. Has Derek Jeter ever answered a question?
Billy went full Captain Hook there. Bad form.
Yes. Guillermo, thank you for...
he met with Miguel Cabrera at this meeting to raise money.
Yep.
He's talked to Miguel Cabrera more than he's talked to Stanton because Miguel Cabrera owns like some peanut company or something, and I guess they're going to put a picture of the peanuts on the wall out there to raise money. I don't know what they're doing. They got rid of Ichiro because Ichiro, I guess, was making too much money with $2 million. You're telling me that you can't bring in Japanese advertisers that'll get you $2 million? Yeah. It's so ridiculous. Why did they get rid of him? It's because he doesn't like people around that can take attention away from him. That's what Derek Jeter's move is.
He's trying to be the biggest star on the team?
Exactly.
While not playing?
And Major League Baseball made such a misstep because they thought that his name and his cachet was going to come in and reinvigorate this fan base. Oh, my God. It didn't even last like 3 weeks. It was so terrible. What a dumb move. This is in New York. No one cares about Derek Jeter. He cannot connect with this fan base. He doesn't speak their language. Literally, he does not speak the language of the fan base he's trying to connect with.
I'm not certain there's a fan base that Major League Baseball understands less than this fan base. We don't give a bleep about Derek Jeter. Seriously, we don't. No one does. No one cares.
I'm looking forward to opening day. I'm looking forward to opening day this year, Dan, because he's going to, at some point, do something to make this about himself, and he's going to be waiting for applause and all the Yankees fans. Yay, Derek Jeter's here. And I am going to be mooing him so much.
Guillermo, put it on the poll at Batard Show.
He thinks he's going to come in, Dan, and he's going to hand out turkeys for Thanksgiving to the community and everybody's going to embrace me and love me. Please, you're the turkey here.
By the way, you notice the two guys he had handing out turkeys with him? You've never heard of him in your life.
In a suit. Period. He's handing out turkeys in a suit. Could the guy be less relatable? Yeah. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Put it on the poll. Is A-Rod going to end up being more popular than Jeter?
He already is. What do you mean? He's been more popular than him for like 2 months. What's their Q score?
He's been wanting.
Oh, he is now. He's dominating Jeter right now. He is. In the game of popularity, A-Rod is dominating Jeets right now.
I cannot wait for him to trade Stanton to the Yankees because that is going to be the best misstep of them all.
You know what is interesting about the Ichiro thing? That Ichiro wants to keep playing. Has that been how did you know that? It's
been in the news for like 2 months.
Okay, I didn't know that. They went to Ichiro and told him your services are no longer wanted. The part that I had heard.
Who's they? Not him.
I didn't know it was public. I knew that it had happened. And what I'm asking you is, how difficult do you think it is for a team to take on Ichiro because they feel like they'll be then the team that released Ichiro? Like how
I don't think they care.
Yeah, I don't think anybody cares at this point.
Right.
So you're saying he ended Ichiro's career?
My contribution was pretty crappy there.
No, you're doing great, Dan.
No,
great contribution.
Ichiro wants to. How long is Ichiro going to play? He wants to keep playing. Like, would you sign Ichiro?
Yeah.
You would?
Yeah, man. He's fun. I love Ichiro.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, why not? Especially this team. I don't know why they got rid of him. What are they going to do? They're going to have a hole in right field. Put him out there a couple games. Who cares?
Because he batted like 200 last season?
Yeah, but it's Ichiro. It's $1 million, and you have Ichiro on your team.
Exactly. And he brings all this media. I'm telling you, you can generate money off of Ichiro still. And if that's all they're interested in, which is what they seem to be interested in, they can't make money off of Ichiro.
Look, you are totally right. What you just said about Japanese sponsors in the outfield is so dead on, but I don't think you're a marketing genius. So it makes
I don't think they are either. If they keep panhandling, asking people for money, they can't afford this team still. They've owned it for a month.
It's amazing they got approval from Major League Baseball.
It's not amazing. It was such a gift. It's so rigged.
No,
it's so obvious.
Not only was it a gift and not only was it rigged. Here, this part. The fact that they've kept their general manager, Mike Hill, that they've kept their president, that doesn't even feel like something. That feels like something that was put on them by baseball. It doesn't make any sense. Jeter doesn't have any relationship with this person. Like, it's the fact that they blew everyone else out and kept the general manager,
right?
Makes me wonder that baseball made them do certain things as part of the agreement. Because keep in mind, this is the highest-ranking black executive in baseball.
Yeah, I think it was this simple.
It makes me think that baseball stepped in and said, "You will keep this person," because why is this person still there?
I think
it makes zero sense that you would get rid of Jack McKeon.
Right.
And everything that has Rich Waltz, anything that has any link to the past, you're getting rid of all of it, but you're keeping the guy who picked the team?
I think the conversation was a simple one. Derek Jeter said, "Mike, will you do everything I tell you to do?" And Mike Hill said, "Yep." And Jeter said, "All right,
man,
you stay."
That's not the Mike Hill I know.
Get ready. Here, write this down. We're going to have a checklist for opening day. Jorge Posada is going to be doing something. Paul O'Neill is going to be strutting around doing something.
Yeah.
Tino Martinez is going to be back. I'm so over this, Dan. I'm so over it.
Well, A-Rod has to show up to opening day, right? Just to steal some of the thunder.
No. Yeah. A-Rod's going to be banned from the park. There's going to be a sign with no admittance, A-Rod's picture. He's never going to be allowed in there. He's going to have to go in disguise. I hope he does. I hope he buys a suite and he ruins the day.
Guys, can we go back for a moment and remember that glorious time in Miami when people were actually talking about whether we should take A-Rod's name off of what used to be Mark-Light Stadium because the name was so stained? Like you shouldn't take his money the way USC wouldn't take Weinstein's money. Can we look back on that and laugh?
Yes, we can. A-Rod should buy the naming rights to Marlins Park. It should be A-Rod Park.
Oh, my God.
Good move.
I dare Jeter to turn that down.
He's not going to turn out money. He'll take money for anything.
Good move. Instead of Pepsi-Cola and Mikazuki, it'll just be A-Rod's face on this. I mean, J-Lo and A-Rod should do that.
Yes.
Like A-Rod and J-Lo present Marlins baseball like Derek Jeter.
Dan Le Batard.
How'd you feel about that? Pretty good?
Yeah, if you say so.
Stugotz.
What are you shaking your head about?
Because I want to get out of here.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on the ticket.
Clemson will bring out the best in Miami. We'll find out if it's good enough, because right now Clemson is starting to peak themselves at the right time.
If I were to stand in front of you and say, who's got the better team? Do you think a lot of Miami fans can make the argument for theirs? It's hard to make that argument because Clemson does all of the things Miami does better than they do. I'm going to wear a jersey on Monday, like an I was right jersey.
Saturday's not the ACC championship. It's not a college football playoff semifinal. It's is Dan right or wrong?
The ACC championship, number 7 Miami, top-ranked Clemson. Coverage begins Saturday at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio and at 8 on ABC. Presented by Dr. Pepper.
So the University of Miami starts in the playoffs. They start right now, Saturday. University of Miami, and they're going into this game broken, man. Like their 3 best offensive players.
Yeah, hurt.
Aren't playing in the game.
Yep. Now, Walton, the running back's been out for most of the season, but you're right.
But still, like the idea that you have, look, man, their running game for a long time has been 1 yard, 1 yard, 1 yard, 2 yards, 70 yards. How the hell are you going to do that if you can't throw the ball? Like, how are you going to do the 70-yard part of it when they don't have anybody? They don't have the tight end that they were going to throw to, and they don't have the wide receiver that they were going to throw to.
Right.
Yeah, they haven't been able to run the ball since the Notre Dame game.
You can't do this with Berrios, can you? Can you do this with just, like, how? Explain to me how this can now happen when you're talking about their three best pro players on an offense that's already been limited and a quarterback that you've been trying to hide all year.
Against that defense.
You think you're going to scheme them? You think you're going to surprise them with scheme?
Chris Whittingham and I going back and forth all week in text. He's crunching film. I'm reading all sorts of news and notes and listening to opposing teams' podcasts and whatnot. I was encouraged by the NC State game. You can move the ball on this defense. You can throw on them. Lord knows Syracuse threw on them. That secondary isn't great. But to your point, you were hoping with Herndon out, someone's going to have to step up, and you would look to the freshman All-American, set your freshman receiving record, Amon Richards, as he appears to get healthier and healthier. Now he's out, and I'm out of answers because you need either Mike Harley or Jeff Thomas to step up, or Michael Irvin II to step up, and these are guys that are young and inconsistent, and you haven't really seen it from them outside of Jeff Thomas going down the field a couple times.
You know they're going to be athletes. You know Thomas and Dallas are fast.
Well, the problem is the quarterback, right? Because if the quarterback was really good, this wouldn't be that big of an issue. Those guys would probably look better, don't you think? It's the quarterback and his ability to be able to get those guys the ball.
It's a lot of different things. You're going into, here's what you're dealing with. You are playing Clemson, the best defensive line in football, although Miami might argue its defensive line is better, but you're going in against the best defensive line in football, really limited on offense. And the only argument I can make about on behalf of your team, and Mike, did the line move with Richards, with the Richards interchange?
It's held steady. It's in that 9.5, 10 range.
Here, and this is a small, Stugotz, this is a small space, right? Because the arguments on behalf of Miami that we've been making all week are it's football, one-game sample, they're resilient. It's a bunch of nonsense, abstract arguments. But if I was trying to make an argument that is cogent for this team, this is what I would do. When I was watching that Clemson-Syracuse game, I was mightily confused at how it is that the read option was getting Dungy time to throw, and he was hitting open receivers on very quick passes. I don't know how they were able to do that, but they neutralized the Clemson pass rush with very quick passes, and Syracuse was able to throw the ball. Syracuse's quarterback is better than Miami. Miami's receivers right now are about what Syracuse's are because you've lost your pro threat.
Right. Yeah. In that game, he had 278 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions.
They had no answers for his combination. How much did he have run? How much did Dungy? Dungy's a good deal better than Rozier.
Dungy ran 21 times for 61 yards.
Okay.
So he had over 300 total yards against that defense, 3 interceptions, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers.
At the time, Syracuse had one of the leading receivers in the nation. I still believe he's up there, but the receiving core isn't all that athletic. Miami is a better athletes out there, and the way that they did it was that defensive line in Clemson, even though I love the Miami defensive line, Clemson's got the best defensive line in the nation. So how did Syracuse do it against that? They played with pace because that first team defensive line is very good. They don't have the depth that Miami has after the first 4, so they got them off the field, and then they started throwing the ball, and you could see that there were weaknesses in that secondary.
Syracuse was absolutely able to throw the ball against Clemson, but it's also the single most stunning thing I've seen in the sport this season, where I was legitimately confused as how is Syracuse able to throw the ball against this team when no one can do it beforehand and no one has done it since.
Well, NC State had success. I would look at that NC State game, not the Syracuse game, because I think now that Syracuse game
NC State scored 31. Well, that game was 37-31.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you want to look for a blueprint, that's probably the game because it looks like that Syracuse game was a bit of a fluke. There was a lot of things going on in that game.
Don't you feel that NC State's offense is a good deal better than Miami's?
No. Miami, look at Miami's numbers. It's the weird thing about Miami is you don't know where you're going to get it from. But you look at those scoring totals, they've gotten it. It's just been different guys.
Mike, this season, I've never known less who I'm getting it from than I am right now going into this game. Like, this is a terrible time to have your least amount of knowledge of who you're going to get it from, because you are going to need a performance in a title game that you have not been to since this thing started from someone that you've largely not even heard of in order to win this game.
Yeah, there's a lot of Canes fans out there that have maybe seen Harley out there but don't know his first name is Mike. Mike Harley's been probably their best receiver in all the practices, and everyone keeps telling me the Mike Harley game is coming. Hasn't come yet. He should have gotten a touchdown against Pitt. There was a pass interference there that wasn't called. We'll see. Someone's going to have to step up. I thought it was going to be Amon Richards, and he's out with a meniscus now.
Man, but you've been hopeful. That one, your Richards zealotry this year. Like, I mean, the guy has not been himself all year. He has been an entirely pedestrian receiver by any standard. Never mind collegiate standards. By any standard, he has been a guy, 2 catches, 3 catches, nothing. Nothing he gives you because he's been hurt all season with something.
Just quickly to Mike's point, I'm just looking at the team offensive numbers. Miami's slightly ahead of NC State this year. They have been.
Okay.
Yeah, and to your point about Amon Richards, he's been pedestrian. He did a lot of drops. Look at the game against Pitt. Caught a touchdown, made a great move down the sideline, was open for 2 touchdowns. If Malik Rozier puts those on the money, you win that game and you say Richards is back.
But here's what I would say to you. Like, when I say the NC State offense is better than Miami's, I'm not talking about the Miami offense from all year. I'm talking about the Miami offense going into this game.
Without these guys.
You've lost your...
You're right.
Man, look, Richards, they went undefeated all season, getting much less from Richards this season in every single game than everyone expected.
And Walton hasn't been there in a while, Dan.
Yeah. A lot of people are looking at the Richards injury. So what? You're losing 3 catches a game. You could argue that he's a threat.
Well, it's that. Everyone on the other sideline knows that he's the guy that you have to game plan for, and that's one of the things that makes Berrios more successful. Like, it's really hard to go into this particular game with Berrios as your only throwing option when Clemson knows that Clemson will now play him the way they were going to play Richards.
Yeah, I was counting on Richards to step up. He's out. I think really the bigger loss of the offense, believe it or not, is Herndon. Because
he's done more this year.
He's done more, and bottom line is whatever Richards' health was, he was giving you 3 catches a game when he was out there. He wasn't the same player as he was last season. Herndon was unstoppable on those bubble screens, was an effective H-back out of the backfield, would help blocking this incredible defensive line, and Michael Irvin II, what can you count on?
Right, you can't.
Would you say to
You
Canes?
could hope, though. You could hope. It'd be pretty cool to win this game with an Irvin.
It'd be very cool. You would say that they've exceeded expectations, right? Like, this is going to be a fun weekend.
By every standard.
So Canes fans, just enjoy it. You have a
worry about
playoff game this weekend.
What I'm telling you is I just hope they keep it close.
Right. An interesting game.
And I just because this team can be overwhelming, and they can be overwhelming in a way that's boring. You're excited for this game. Oh, we lose 27-6.
Right. Yeah, they've had a bunch of those. You're right.
I mean, that's what they just got done doing to South Carolina, where you're watching them. And just that team is so tested, man. Like, here's what I would say to you. The Miami schedule, while people make fun of it, not as bad as you think. I think there's 6 bowl-eligible teams on it. I think Clemson's played more bowl-eligible teams than anyone in the country.
Yeah, Clemson's resume right now looks pretty incredible. And not just top 25 teams. If you look at top 28, they have 26 and 28.
Yeah, you can hope, man. You can hope. You can believe. You can want. And if it comes through, it'll be one of the biggest. It'll be one of the biggest upsets in the history of University of Miami football. Like, going Miami's way. Miami doesn't have a lot of... You'd have to go back, I feel like, to the 1983 Orange Bowl to find an upset that would feel like this one, where Miami... Man, I don't remember. There was no point in the U is back days, Stugotz, never, that they were a 10-point dog. That did not happen ever against anybody.
Mm-hmm. And I'm with you in terms... You could hold it in that high regard, even though it's not a national championship, because let's get real. Even if they somehow, by some miracle, win this ACC championship game, it's a tall order without Herndon and Richards to win the national championship. So go all out. Win an ACC title.
Well, can those guys get healthy, Mike?
Super Bowl.
Can they get healthy? You get a month off.
No, they're all
done.
Are you guys though now willing to more? Now that you let's see. I want you guys to imagine 30-3 loss,
right?
In which a resilient team that has overachieved all season, that is maxed out, it ends disappointing, but that's how it ends. That's the argument I was trying to make earlier this week, where if you keep this game close, you could feel better about yourself than if you actually get into one of these next rounds. And I just feel like you're going to get, unless you get Wisconsin, you're going to get throttled.
Right. So you're back to you'd rather just lose in a close game than lose.
I'm just saying.
I think Canes fans are going to be fine.
I'm just saying. All I'm saying. No, I'm not saying that. What I've been trying to say all week about that is, and Guillermo's the only one who agreed with me, that Canes fans will feel better about the scenario I'm describing, which is losing in a close game and wishing about maybes, than they would about the next scenario, which is winning this game, and then what I think is going to happen, which is them getting throttled.
Right.
They're going to feel better about the season if it doesn't end in a throttling.
So don't win the game.
Keep it close.
Well, I think I follow Dan's point.
Why can't I explain this to you guys in a way that anybody understands?
Well, I've never heard someone like two teams are playing a game and you're trying to tell me it's better for a team to lose the game.
Just for the mentality of its fan base. Guillermo, I've been unsuccessful with this all week. Can you please help me?
This is a long game, guys. It's a long game. So short term, you're going to feel disappointed if you lose this week, right? But you're also going to say, you know what? We could have gotten into that national championship game. Whatever the outcome is of the first round, you're going to be like, we could have done that. We could have gotten into the national championship game. And then whatever the outcome of that is, you're like, we could have done that too. So there's still going to be this kind, I don't want to call it delusion, but there's going to be this kind of delusion that you think you could have won the national championship if you got in.
Especially if Clemson wins it.
Yes. Because you're like, we only lost to Clemson by 6 points. We could have won the national championship. Look, they won by 20 points. But if you make it in, and you lose by 30 in that first game, then you know you couldn't win the national championship.
Okay. I understand the point.
Why
now.
are you better at this than
I don't.
I understand the point now, but I think it's moot now that you have all the injuries. You have your excuse. It's not the same team. It's not Herndon and Richards out there, and then you think you can talk yourself into we can win a national championship.
Stugotz, it sounds like Mike has been convinced that this is a house money game.
It is.
Is it a house money game? Put it on the poll, Guillermo. House money game.
That's fine. I think it is a house money game, but you want to be one of the Final Four teams. I don't care. Who cares what happens in the semifinals? Big deal. You get blown out, you get blown out. You made it to the Final Four.
Look at me. I could give a rip about Final Four. I don't care about Final Four. I care about winning an ACC championship. That'll probably get you into the Final Four.
Did you just say look at me before you started
look at
talking?
Me. I don't care about Final Four. I don't think we're winning a national title.
Did you look at them?
Did you look at me?
I looked away.
I looked away. I looked away because I don't like to be controlled.
Stugotz, look at me.
No.
I don't give a rip about the Final Four. I don't give a rip.
Who does that? Look at me when I say this. Who demands eye contact from everyone within their listening voice? Look at me when I say this, and then the comment is, I don't give a rip about something. That is someone that's 80 years old. How old, Guillermo, put it on the poll. How old is the person who says, quote, look at me, I don't give a rip? That is unbelievable. Mike Ryan and the shipping container entrusted with keeping a guy who's forgetting names every minute and another guy who is hard of hearing and doesn't listen even if he had his hearing. Entitled with keeping us young.
I don't give a rip. I don't give a rip. This is all about an ACC championship. This is a Super Bowl right here. Don't give a rip about anything else. I'll worry about the Final Four when it comes.
All right.
But right now, I know there's concerns about the offense. And what I'm telling you is I don't know where it's coming from. I have zero conviction.
It's a very hard
But here's what I'm going to say.
Right.
Give me 3 to 4 scores offense. Find a way. Give me 3 scores and the defense will get 1. Okay. You're not winning this game with your offense. This is going to have to be a defensive game.
Defensive and special teams.
But you want 3 touchdowns.
Special teams. We haven't seen anything from special teams.
Mike, you're not getting 3 touchdowns. Offensive touchdown.
Hey, do you know what you've seen from special teams? Guillermo, let me
Barrios fair catch.
No, let me see if this is right, though. What you've seen from special teams, I think. You know how inconsistent college kickers can be? Hell, Fiegels has shown you that. How inconsistent just college kickers can be, punters and kickers. I'm pretty sure no one's missed a kick against the University of Miami this entire season. I think I have that stat
That's
right.
Incredible.
I think,
that way.
Did anyone in Pittsburgh? Because the stat was right before Pittsburgh. No, there were no missed field goals in Pittsburgh.
That Pittsburgh kid was unbelievable. He nailed a 50-yarder at Heinz Field.
I think I have it. I think I have it right. What the special teams has given you is nothing. Nothing.
I don't give a rip.